Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. So we're back for daily analysis on how we can help our traders, both physical and online. Remember that as we've been doing, we always encourage traders to be persistent. Consistency is the only key to success in Forex. So what we'll be doing today is going to be on the. Okay, let me quickly review what we had, the training we had this afternoon. I did this live trading with my team on JBP USD and life and gold. So we had a very good outcome on gold. So we're expecting this market to retrace back so that we can take a buy. We for now we can't enter a buy because it's below the zone. So we expect it if it happen to come down possibly before this. This is where we'll now be considering our buy. This is no longer valid. This is no longer valid. So we'll be taking our buy below the first support. So we'll be going down to take this buy from here up. So that is what we'll be expecting gold to do. And the same thing with JBP USD, we also in our watch list. We expect to have a buy from here, but likely this buy may not hold. So on the 4-hour time frame, we're waiting for it to come to this zone, to the trend line zone here, somewhere here. So this might be our key point of interest for us to take a buy. So that means our sell has actually expected. We had a very good report on our sell. So we are good at that. So we'll be looking at 1 hour 30 minutes for that to be affected on this zone. So what we'll be expecting now later is once we get to that zone, we take a long back to this zone. Then I'll take profit little below, maybe 20. It's fine. Then we push up again. 20 to get, that is too much. Let's say 20 for 60, 1 for 3. It's cool. So this is what we'll be expecting for JBP USD this afternoon. If this market drop below, this actually was affected by the news today. We remember we had a lot of news. I go back to the calendar again. Um, we have for today Friday. Every first Friday is always volatile. Now we have 130. We have CAD, CAD for employment change, CAD unemployment rate, USD average hour, USD non-farm employment, and USD unemployment rate. So a lot of volatile pairs. We will not be trading till like 3 p.m. today. We have to wait till 3 p.m. for news to relax. Then we see the market structures. With our point of interest are in order, all our zones are in order, then we can consider a trade. So meanwhile, let's go straight to our trading for this afternoon. We're going to be doing more of pairs for beginners on what we can actually have a very good setup for you. Now we have guides to simple and price action forex pairs to trade. Guys, this is fantastic topic, and I can assure you that you will have a very good um, outcome when it comes to the end of this training. Guide to simple and price action forex pairs to trade. Now let's go. We look at real chart and current pairs. Now what we have here is we have the chart for Euro USD, USD JPY also, the Euro AUD USD, JBP USD. So the other one is USD JBP or thereabout. So now what we'll be looking at is more of the pairs that are more volatile and the one that is not volatile. Now, an overview of the most actively traded currency pairs are Euro USD, USD JPY, AUD USD, JBP USD currency. These are the major pairs that you can trade effectively. Something like JPY, NZD, NZD, CHF, those are exotic pairs. You don't really need to go for those pairs. So I encourage us to do a pairs that are more recognized and more better. Now let's look at the market structure. So we look at the higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Remember that is always very first structure things you look at when you are trading any of the pairs. That is where you get your structure. That is where you get your point of interest. That's where you also get your entry level and your exit level. Your higher time frame to the lower time frame. As a beginner, you need to make sure your top down analysis is in order. So we also have when it's trending down, we have a higher high as the top, while the next will be lower from the higher, which is higher low. Then we come back, we have the lower low. It will move up again, you have the higher low, combine it. Then that shows to you that the market is on a downtrend. So whenever you have such movement coming down is a downtrend. When you have the higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low is an uptrend. That is what gives the structure of every market. Now, we have what we call support and resistance. I told you, I've always been saying it in all my trading that support and resistance are very key when it comes to trading. Everybody will use this support and resistance, whether you are SMC, ICT, price action, whichever, name it, whatever you want to call your strategy, it's support and resistance we all trade. Because sometimes people tell you other blocks and all that, and we tell you top down support on the double top and the below you have the down the what they call it again, that is the support on the down are the where you have your resistance up and your support down. So that is what we have on this support and resistance. And the break and retest, we also have the break and retest. Break and retest are also area where we have the structures being broken, and we have a retest where you have your inner aspect, where you have, for instance, the inner zone, the point of interest, your inner trend. Those areas are actually break and retest strategy that we look out for. Now, remember, your support and resistance have a very strong zone. The zone where you are to enter is where you have first touch, second touch, and third touch, you enter. Then on the below, where you have your support on the below, you have first touch, second touch, third touch, you enter. On the above, which is the supply or the resistance, you also need to have that point of zone or your interest. So these are part of the market structures and market uh, areas we need to look at. Now, let's look at the pairs, most especially, which is the title of this training. The pairs, we have the indices. What are the indices? You have US 30, NAS 100, and S&P 500. These three pairs are the major traded pairs I can recommend for anybody, whether new or old traders. The risks are very much because they are volatile pairs, so they are more volatile than the normal currencies. And you need to be very careful whenever you are doing this, taking these indices, because their stop loss must be very matured and tight. But even at all it's going to be tight, you need to look at your account to know what type of amount you will consider. So before you can take any indices trade, make sure you check your risk management to be in order. So it's very, very key and very, very important for us to have risk management in place. Now the next one is the crypto and commodities. What are cryptos? Cryptos are like BTC USD, Ethereum USD, and all of that. So you must also look at BTC very carefully. Structure is not enough to determine the entrance and entry and exit of cryptocurrencies. They move more of volatilities in fundamentals. That means news makes more of the market to move. So you need to be very, very extra careful whenever you are trading cryptocurrencies. But the two recommended ones are BTC and Ethereum, right? And as I told you on the indices, I look at the three, but you can choose one. For me, I'll recommend S&P 500 or NASDAQ. You pick one because sometimes most of the volatilities are the same. So it's only US 30 that is a bit different. If you want to pick one, take one of these three. They are fantastic. Don't need to be doing analysis on S&P 500 and NAS 100 at the same time. You're just wasting your time. The two moves are the same direction. Okay, now let's look at it. The US 30 are like 30 companies that have come together to form this, while the NAS 100 or NASDAQ is 100 companies. You have Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Tesla, a lot. All of them come together. More of tech and pharmaceutical manufacturing, they are all together to form this. Then come to S&P 500, it's 500 companies, the same. So what you're not looking at, the volatilities are depending on the number of companies. Though the market moves more in both of the three, they have the same volatility or liquidity. So just consider the one you know, the structures are in place for you. You can understand the entry level and exit level, and you study carefully from back testing to be sure that you know what you are doing. So the last one is the commodity, where you have the oils and gold. Oil and gold are the major commodity pairs that we trade. So oil is also good, gold is good, but for me I recommend gold more than oil because oil sometimes can be stagnant in some places for months. So it's always good. Now we have oil is moving from 93 down to 80 something back to 100 and something. It's because there is war in Iran and US and all that. So if nothing is happening, the market is stable, you can just be in 63, 65 for months per dollar, per barrel for months. So it's really not going to be the best. But some people who are good in commodities, they know how to trade that effectively. So, dear, my dear brothers, this is the topic we have for you today. And as I've said, always make sure you follow your risk management, make sure you follow your analysis, make sure you know what you are doing before you take any trade. So for me, I trade more of BTC. I do analysis on Euro, BTC, JBP, JPY, gold, NAS 100, oil, and S&P 500, JBP USD, and US 30. That is almost like 10. But I don't trade all the 10. I do the analysis because I always have my students and followers across the world who watches our YouTube, our TikTok, and every other social media we have for them to follow us. So I do the analysis and share to our communities on our Telegram page. You can click below to follow our Telegram page so that every other video we share, you can as well be notified. Please do not forget to click the likes and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we'll be dropping this type of content every time for us to have a good trading analysis. I want to thank every one of us for joining us, taking time to follow us on our YouTube and every other social media that we'll be continuing to do this as times comes, and we assure you that the quality content we are bringing out so far has been so much recommended and so much encouraging by all our viewers. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. But goodbye.